So like, what? Since you were, in the Air Force before
Hmm.
you joined the Army, what are two of the biggest differences between the Air Force and the Army?
People ask me this question all the time. And they're like, "Oh, do you regret like leaving the Air Force?" And it's like each career field has its own set of problems,
Mm-hmm.
and they definitely have their both sets of like pros and cons. But for me, the major differences that I experienced was the Air Force was a lot more political, um, and I'm not very good at playing the political game. It's something that I have to work on,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a certain level of having to play into that, in order to progress sometimes, and I wasn't good at that age. So it's definitely the political side of the house, and I was in security forces in the Air Force, so it's not like a normal Air Force
What
position.
is that?
Security forces is like, people are gonna hate me for this, but it's kind of like MP and infantry like
Okay.
meshed together.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's not really as intense on the infantry side of the house unless you go into something specialized like PJ or whatever the case may be. But I worked nights, I worked weekends, I worked
Mm-hmm.
holidays, and it was a lot.
It's a
It was a
lot, huh?
lot, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So other than that, also like the 4 days. I know that's gonna sound crazy, but when I got to brag and they were like, "You came at a really good time. Like we're having a 4 day this weekend. Like it's almost 4th of July. We have all these things going on." And I had to ask them what a 4 day was because I'd never heard of that before. And
Right.
they're like, it's what are you talking about? You get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And
That's
I thought
not.
that was really cool.
Is
Like,
that not a thing in the Air Force?
no, it's
Oh,
not a
dang! I didn't know
thing.
that.
I mean, they definitely, if you ask somebody who's in like a regular career field or a regular
Oh yeah, yeah.
AFSC in the Air Force, like they have those days.
Oh, okay.
But if you're in security forces, like you're working
Oh, I forgot.
regardless.
Y'all are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think
So
MPs don't really get those like that
no,
either. Yeah, like
I
in the
I definitely
Army.
feel for them because yeah, MPs
Yeah.
you work regardless.
God
There's
bless.
got to be somebody there to like work the streets. There's got to be somebody there to work the cases that come
Right,
through.
work the gates.
Yeah, there's got
Yeah.
to be somebody there. So it's like you don't get. It's not the same lens that other people have. I think that surprises people.
Right. So, what's your MOS?
I branch quartermaster. That's my MOS.
Okay, so
I say it like that because I wanted to do something completely different, but yes, I'm
yeah.
a quartermaster officer.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
Okay, yeah. So for those who are not too savvy with the lingo, I
Mm-hmm.
should say, so quartermaster deals with a lot of logistics. As a matter of fact, when you go to Triple C or Captain's Career Course, it merges into logistics, and you become a logistics officer. But it's basically just the movement of troops and supplies to wherever you need them, whether that be the forward line, whether that be specifically like we're a brigade asset. What I'm doing now, we're a brigade asset. I work in the supply support area, and we're basically the warehouse. So units will order parts. It has to come to us, and we put them where they need to go, and then they'll come pick them up.
Okay.
And on the other side of that, if you need to churn things in, they'll bring it to us, and then we'll put it out to wherever it needs to go. So it's just like a lot of movement of
Okay.
important things that the Army needs.
Got you. I want you to briefly detail a busy day for you.
So as the SSA PL, let's talk about Mondays because Mondays are the busiest days. You come in for PT, and then after PT, you got to do command maintenance. So basically, what that means for those who don't know, you're going out into the motor pool and you're checking your trucks and your trailers. You're making sure everything churns on, everything works. You're annotating what's wrong with it so you can get it fixed. And then on the rest of the half of the day, like for me, I'm updating my rosters, I'm updating my slides, I'm updating my equipment so I can brief the commander. And then at the end of the day, you have to send up all the reports. And that's just that's a typical Monday. And typically, those are some of the longest days. But in addition to that, you're making sure your troops are okay. You're making sure, you're checking in with your platoon sergeant. And for me, I have a chief, I have a platoon sergeant, and I have an NCOIC. So I have to take in everything that's going on the technical side of the house and as well as like the regular side with whatever is going on with my platoon, making sure that we're mission ready and able to go forward for the rest of the week.
Okay. Okay. So.